Hello, everybody. We're getting this party started. I'm glad you could join us tonight. It's great to be here. I think I'm all over the place, so hopefully we're getting lots of viewers on here tonight. All right, welcome tonight. I'm Ondi Laure, your author, writing and book coach, and CEO of Story Launcher and Persona Publishing. And welcome to tonight's live. I know I was going to be on here every Monday, and Mondays have turned into Wednesdays. So I'm glad you could join us. I think I've gotten a lot of people joining us. Apparently, I've been on here for a while. So thank you for your patience, and my apologies for my techno difficulties. As you all know, I'm not real suave at handling this, but I'm getting it figured out eventually, right? It just takes time. So welcome tonight. I've got a little bit to share before we go and do our Q&A with the writing group tonight. I wanted to talk with you about the muse. And if you're waiting on the muse to strike, to inspire, the muse, what is the muse? It's that creativity, that inspiration that gets us to get our butt and to actually produce content, to write a story, to write a narrative, whatever the piece you're working on. And that muse is, if you're waiting on the muse to strike, that's where we're losing you. So we're going to talk about a little bit and talk about inspiration. But before I go on, I'd like for my listeners to please share your hacks, if you have any, that you rely on, that bring your creativity and your inspiration front and center, where you can get yourself working and writing on a prolific basis. So please share your hacks for getting around waiting on the muse. When we don't have all our ducks in a row and our day's not working out real well, how do you go about getting your writing done to meet your deadlines? So please share those hacks with us. We'd love to hear from you. And and what you're looking for. If you've gotten stuck on waiting for that muse to strike and waiting for inspiration, staring at the blank screen, share with us and tell us how we can best serve you with that. So these hacks and impulses that we have, that is what separates a professional author, a professional storyteller, from somebody that's striving to be that. And it's getting around waiting for that muse to strike, being able to write on a whim, write as a necessity, write while you're waiting in traffic or waiting in the dentist's office, when we don't have a great big chunk of time to get in the flow, and we can just sit down and be prolific at the drop of a hat. That is what separates the great from the greatest. And we want to learn from that and cultivate that, so we can call on that to inspire us as we need it. So the number one thing that I can't that I want to say is, we call ourselves writers, but if we're not writing, we can't really call ourselves writers. And that's the number one struggle that I see my clients have, and I myself has, is as I'm not writing on a daily basis, how can I be call myself qualify as a writer if I'm not writing every day? So that's the number one task that we've got to undertake and really conquer, is to be a writer. You've got to get your butt in the chair and be prolific and write every day. So often writing, and we're waiting on that inspiration, waiting for the muse to strike. That's what's keeping us from claiming that title of authorship, that title of, I am an author, I am a published author, I am a prolific author. And because we're not that if we're waiting for inspiration constantly. So prolific writers and authors and content creators are doing three things consistently and religiously. And that is, number one, they're not waiting for the muse ever. It's readily available to them because they've trained their psyche and their habits to be so. they're not waiting for inspiration to strike. And they're not waiting. Third thing is they're not waiting for that perfect time to write. They're able to write on whim, as you know, on a need basis, on a when time allows and as the day unfolds, not when they want to, but they've created habits around that. And professional authors, professional writers write consistently. Consistency is something that is always a struggle. It's forever a struggle with me because life happens. Life gets in the way. And my consistency around writing is it's hard. I'm not there's no sugarcoating it. It's definitely hard. But the professional authors that I know of and that I surround myself with are writing consistently, not when time allows, but they have been able to be consistent because they're creating habits around their writing, and creating those habits are sacred habits, and their life is built around those habits. So that's what I wanted you all to take away with this from this training tonight, was creating writing habits that are habitual and that aren't at the beck and call of the muse, because that's when we are faced with writer's block, when we're waiting for the muse to strike. And the simplest trick and tool that I want to leave you with tonight with that is start writing. Journaling is a great way. Just you've got 10-15 minutes, carry a little notebook with you, a little journal with you, and just start writing. And when you're thinking of inspiration and prompts to get you writing, to begin with, start writing about starting a gratitude journal is the number one tool in my arsenal that I teach my clients, is to start writing a gratitude journal. And it'll just warm you up. It'll get your words flowing, your creativity flowing, and start writing what you're grateful for in the moment. If it's a blue sky, if it's a warm, cozy chair, if it's a hot cup of coffee, so be it. A warm, a roof over your head, a warm bed, dinner on the table, what have you, the small things. But start writing about your gratitude and what you're grateful for. And that will open up windows of creativity and really inspire those creative juices to flow. So I wanted to leave you with that tonight. Please share with our group what your creative bent is on getting around waiting for the muse. If you've got an idea, perhaps it's music, and we dabble in that, I strongly encourage you, music is a great, your song list of creativity. Don't write with lyrics. That's a messes with your mind. Just instrumental's great. When you get into the editing and the crafting phase, lyrics are great. Absolutely, quite right. I work best to some heavy metal when I'm doing editing. But when you're getting that story out and you're getting it off your heart, go without the lyrics. All right, that's all I have for tonight. See me on my author page. We're going to be talking about embracing and escaping through the craft of fiction and fantasy. So we'll see you over there tonight or tomorrow, and we'll be back next week and share with you some more writing tips. So out for now, have a lovely evening. If you want to reach out and visit with me, you can always catch me at myinklings.com. Bye for now. Thanks for your patience. Night, everybody. And I'm still on YouTube and I can't find where I am. I know we're still live somewhere. Okay.